Hello! Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I have received a lot of questions in regards to some of my previous islands asking how do I do my natural terraforming. And so I thought for today's video, I would give you 15 tips for more natural terraforming for your islands. So I'm going to go back and revisit some of my previous islands to just discuss how some of the natural landscaping was created. Just as a reminder, if you are interested in visiting any of these islands for yourself, I have done a full tour of each of them on the channel already, and they include the dream address there if you want to go check them out. All custom codes that were used on each island can be found in the description of those videos. So let's just jump right in. I personally feel that a big part of creating a visually stunning island is to have some beautiful views and overlooks. Because these areas can take up a lot of space, I tend to develop these areas out first and then determine my flow of the island around them. And also when planning out my overlooks, I keep in mind if I would like the area to be accessible, such as this butterfly field on my Spring Island, or not accessible, such as this butterfly field on my Four Seasons Island. A beautifully terraformed area can look very different depending on where you're viewing it from. So when I develop out my islands, I like to determine if I want a visitor to see a space from the ground level, the second tier, the third tier, or from multiple tiers. In making this decision, it also helps to start the flow of my island because I know that if I want a visitor to view this space, the pathing must lead to this area. Also, do play around with the distance. Sometimes viewing an area from further back can give the build more visual appeal. When it comes to designing your cliffs, rounding off the edges can make a significant difference in creating a softer, more realistic environment. I almost always round off my cliffs. However, I do think it's okay to have a few sharp edges here and there, especially if you're planning to put something on top of your cliff, and you can always hide the edge with a tree or another item if you wanted. When selecting trees for your build, I find it essential to use a diverse mix, and also, I use lots of trees. Lots and lots of trees. Consider using a variety of fruit trees, cedar, bamboo, and hardwood all in one space to achieve a more natural look. And you could also use a lot of varying heights for your trees to add a little bit more depth. In case you weren't aware, you can stunt the growth of any of your trees by simply burying a piece of fruit right next to the tree. As long as that buried fruit is adjacent to the tree, that tree will not grow any further. And one piece of fruit can also stunt multiple trees, which is very helpful. Use items such as the baobab tree, pine tree, evergreen ash, and giant vine to add height and fill in empty space. These items I think are really great fillers because they can fit in perfectly with the natural aesthetic and make an area look more full and lush. Give your build more dimension by angling your cliffs, as you can see here at the entrance of my Spring Island, or even consider making some land bridges on your island. I absolutely love land bridges and use them on almost all of my islands. You can terraform them out into any shape you desire, and then having terraforming and waterscaping on either side just makes for a stunning stroll through your island. Another thing I do on all of my islands is place the trees on cliff edges. Not only does this look beautiful, but it also saves some space on your island because you can add pathing right up against the tree edge. So let me show you a quick little tutorial on how you can do this. Simply build up the cliff, cut out a square, and then use your waterscaping tool to create a little half-moon water arch. Then just place your tree on top. If you don't want water there, just fill in the space, round off your cliffs, and you're good to go. I feel that waterscaping and terraforming really go hand in hand, so don't be afraid to add in lots of waterscaping to your areas. Include a variety of single stream and double wide waterfalls, backwards waterfalls, large ponds, rivers, and just make sure to curve out your water for a more natural look. You can really get creative by using other items in the game to add to the space, such as the cave items, the rock head statue turned backwards, or the pergolas down low to look like a flower field. All of these items can add more visual appeal to your build and also enhance the space in terraforming. Don't leave all your cliff sides bare. Your builds will have more visual interest and look more natural if you add some vines to the space. You can really add a lot of dimension to your island if you create areas where you can see terraforming both up close and further away. So layer that terraforming, trust me, it's so worth it. Unfortunately, Nintendo doesn't allow us to climb up or decorate on top of a fourth tier, but you can still build one up and place vines around it. As you can see in this overlook, the pergola is sitting down on the ground level, the little lake is on the second tier, Waterfalls are cascading down from the 3rd tier, and then the top is the 4th tier to really give this area a bit more height. I think it is also important to frame out your view. It's not just what you see in the distance that's important, it's everything as a whole. So make sure to include some trees in the forefront. You can even use items such as the fan palm or cypress trees and push them up against that cliff to add a little bit more greenery. Your time of day can really affect how your builds look, so do keep that in mind. I often, when I terraform, do it in the time of day that I plan to have my dream address set to, because details can be seen more clearly in the daylight as opposed to more shadowed or just a silhouette under a night sky. Just play around. Don't be afraid to experiment with your builds and refine them. I am constantly building up an area and then just tearing it down and rebuilding something again until I'm happy with what I have. And that's perfectly okay. Just keep practicing terraforming and it'll get easier for you. I have definitely improved on my terraforming skills since my very first island. So to finish off this video, I thought I would put together a very quick overlook that incorporates a lot of these tips. Now, I don't plan to necessarily keep this overlook on my island, so I'm not going to finish it all off or add in a lot of details. This is just going to be a very bare bones build, but I'm hoping it'll give you a good starting point. And there you have it. I know this is a very bare bones overlook, but it gives you the general idea. I do hope you found this video helpful and inspiring. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Animal Crossing content if you're not already. I hope you are having an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!